Hey, it is 9:30. Time for the Friday Night Hangout. This is where we grab a brew, shoot the breeze, and interact with you tonight. Small panel tonight because it is the summertime. Me and Carrie, we're here for the summer edition of the Friday Night Hangout. Hopefully we'll get a few more people jumping in as they get to their destinations and such. We'll do the quick round of introductions, and then we'll get settled in to the show, and we do have a number of topics to talk about tonight. Going all the way to Cape Breton, we got Carrie live
Hello
on his
there.
tablet.
Yep, we are here.
And just
There's
jumping in right now. We got Todd coming in from Moncton, so we'll wait for him to jump in properly here. So I'm coming in from Halifax tonight. So as everybody's getting settled here, well, it looks like I've got Todd jumping in here. I'll just flip over to Todd. Todd's coming in from Moncton tonight. Thanks for jumping in, buddy. Appreciate it. I don't got your audio right now, so we'll get you a chance to fix that. So just to give a chance for everybody to know if how the Hangouts work, this is an interactive show, so you can interact with us via Twitter, YouTube, Google+, and we will get back to you. You can also replay the show once we're done. You can also do the DVR if you caught the show a little bit late. And, of course, we have the audio-only podcast version, which is usually uploaded a day or so afterwards. So, looks like Todd's getting kind of set up here. Todd, are you there? No, there's something wrong with the mic there. You plugged in, so. Yeah, no worries. We'll get you there. Just yell. Once you're ready, we'll get you there. So a little technical difficulties with Todd from Moncton tonight, but
just say beer and we'll listen.
Oh yeah, he's on mute here. Actually, should I unmute him? No, not quite yet. All right, check the settings, Todd, and we'll get you there. Your picture's looking great. Actually, out of the three, he's looking the best. Haircut and everything.
Haircut, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, let's move on with the first segment of the show here, which is what we are drinking tonight. So I'll start with that and let the guys get their stuff ready. I am drinking tonight from Garrison Brewing their Baltic Porter, 9% Baltic Porter beer. So that is a nice... I was slowly a fan of this over the years, but this year's edition, I really like it. So it's a nice, not as heavy as a Russian Imperial Stout, but still has quite a bit of kick to it. Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
Let's see. It comes in one of these. I got one this week, and it's Serial Killer Stout. Very good.
And that's from our friend Jeremy at Big Spruce.
Correct.
From Nyan's Cape Breton, so it's good stuff. He's got a lot of stuff going on this year at the brewery, so it's good to see you there. Todd, what are you drinking tonight? Even though we don't have your audio yet, but we can see you. You don't have nothing yet because you just walked in the door, son. All right.
Ma, give me a beer. Ma.
Well, he needs to get the audio settled here, so he'll pop out and then he'll join back us here. All right, so just to let everybody know, we got a small panel tonight. So because this is the summer edition, we're doing this every 2 weeks, and of course, it had to happen that the week that we have the hangout, people got stuff going on. So happy to have Carrie here and happy to have Todd once we are in. Let's start with the first topic, though. Let's quickly talk about Hurricane Arthur, Carrie. Hurricane Arthur came by last week, post-tropical storm, but still the winds still packed a wallop. Some places in Nova Scotia, winds hit over 140 kilometers per hour. The hardest hit, though, was in mainland New Brunswick, up in Fredericton or Muckdo. Totally the opposite of what the forecasters were saying. Carrie, did you, were you out of power, out of electricity during the storm or afterwards?
We were on the windy side of the event, but we were on the top end, the northeast side, so we got the some northeast winds.
Yeah,
windy, but not overly windy. So we didn't get any power outage. We had a couple here in Cape Breton, probably about 8 outages all over the place,
Okay.
and nothing that the power crews can fix up really fast.
Yeah, so the so-called windy side ended up being the nice side, because here in Halifax, we could feel something was coming up, and then the wind started around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It was starting to build up. It's coming from a different direction usually when we have our storms, so stuff was shaking around. But you know what? Rain wasn't coming. By 12 o'clock, I had to get down to my car. The power outage situation in the city wasn't that bad. There was a beer event at Stillwell at 12, so got in my car, went down, and swear to God, by 2 o'clock, blue sky, sun was peering down. So I think Jocelyn took a picture of the blue sky. So for us in Halifax, it was just a regular windstorm, nothing crazy. However, on the other side of the track of the post-tropical Arthur, the valley in New Brunswick, Bay of Fundy, they got just shellacked. We had over 100,000 people without power, and
the same for New Brunswick, and they're still out now. My daughter lives on the north side of Fredericton, and she's still without power. So.
Hey, almost full 7 days without power. There are a lot of people in New Brunswick that are without power, and the problem with the power companies, both New Brunswick Power, NB Power, and Nova Scotia Power, is that their restoration times have been way off, and to the point now that the Premier Nova Scotia had to do their tough talk press conference today to say, all right, this is unacceptable, kind of deal. And then the day before, we had the CEO from Mera come up. You know what? A couple things. One, this was in June, or we're in July. The trees are full of leaves. You have 100-kilometer-hour winds. Trees will be uprooted. They're bound to hit lines. So the damage shouldn't have been surprising for people. I think what is surprising is where the storm hit and how bad it hit the lines, where it's just taking longer to get power restored.
Yeah, and when you think about the old cities where they have these very, very grandiose trees that are doing their job, shading and everything, keeping everybody cool and everything else, unfortunately, we don't live in cities that have underground power systems yet. We should, but that just happens, and it just when nature does its thing, it's going to do it, and unfortunately, that's where the rain hit and softened the ground up and trees came down.
Yeah. And for anybody who's driven down Fredericton in the summer, it's the city of elms, beautiful big elm trees, and when they fall down, they're going to bring some stuff down. But it's just a shame, though, it's taking this long to get power restored here. Sounds like we've got Todd back in his audio.
Yep. Am I working?
Yeah, you're working, buddy.
Yeah,
awesome.
We can hear the kitchen party going on tonight.
Yeah, the kitchen party tonight.
Uh-huh.
Todd, did you have anything to drink while you're there? Or?
No, not a thing.
Not a thing.
It's dry.
Saving it up for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Excellent. We're just talking about Hurricane Arthur and how for us in Halifax and to that point Cape Breton, we weren't that hit being on the windy side of the track, but people in Fredericton, they got shellacked.
Did they ever?
Now, did you notice anything while you were driving up today in terms of, did you see like any crews or anything? Because you're in Moncton right now.
Yeah. No, I didn't see anything. I was kind of looking out for that too. I know, like in my neighborhood, there's probably about a dozen trees down in the park. Crews are there and cleaned it up basically almost right away. So.
Well, I got an interesting story. Is that while the storm was hitting Halifax, and Todd and we went down to the beer event, the wife and the kid were still in PI, and they were supposed to come down on the Sunday. So the storm hit on Saturday. They were going to drive back to Halifax on Sunday. Didn't even think about it. But somewhere during the day, I get a phone call from the missus. She's like, you know what? I'm in between Amherst and Halifax. All the gas stations along this stretch of the highway, the power's out. I can't get gas. I need gas. So I had to go rummage in the shed for the fuel jug that I use for the lawnmower and meet her halfway. So I said, drive until you run out of gas, and I'll meet you wherever you are, kind of deal. But that is just shows you how on this side of the track we didn't think the storm hit that bad, but on the other side, Amherst, Truro, Moncton, Bay of Fundy, they just got hammered. So.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook that you were your hero. Had to drive up with gas to Masstown. I know a place you hate to go.
Well, you know, the Masstown was out of power too, and I guess before I arrived, it was just pandemonium. All these people driving in thinking they can get their big goods and stuff. There was no power, so they couldn't buy anything. So right before I showed up, power got restored, and everybody was running out with their flats of beer and bread and whatever else they do at Masstown. So. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. All right, it's Friday night hangout, kids. This is where we grab a brew, shoot the breeze. Small panel tonight because it is the summer edition of the show. And we'll be monitoring Twitter, YouTube, and I see Josh just said a little tweet here, so we'll be checking comments here in a little bit. We'll do one more topic, and then we'll do the next one here. Uber, the next topic. Uber, the car service, which is supposed to kill taxi services, has arrived in Halifax. So if you have the Uber app and you're in Halifax, you can get a expensive car ride and still be stuck in traffic because of Halifax. Todd, are you going to use Uber instead of public transit?
No. I'll be sticking to the bus, I guess, unless it's something way out of the norm. But I've got a vehicle, so for now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I don't know if I'll use Uber. Like, every time I see Uber in the news, it's about something bad with their drivers, right?
Yeah.
I think there was one there. It was a high-speed car chase for like 10 minutes. You're talking about Uber running over people and stuff. I don't know if Halifax is quite the right market for Uber. Probably in a bigger city. Carrie, if Uber arrives in Cape Breton, are you going to just get into any old car with a mustache on the hood?
No.
Because that's how you differentiate an Uber car with a mustache on the front of the hood.
No. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing, too, it's all these articles we read about all the busy times, Uber jacks up the prices. So you're not getting less, you're paying more the busier it gets. So I don't know, I don't understand this concept, but people seem to like it.
I don't know, it's good for good fodder for who was it that got on? I think it was Conan, wasn't it? Conan and a couple of people took a drive, and might have been a different service. I think I remember the mustache, though. It's kind of funny they made fun. The guy didn't know. He just showed up to give him a drive, and they kind of teased him and went in, bought beer, and were drinking in the car and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's do a quick check on comments here. I just happen to have the comment windows up here. You can comment to us via Twitter, YouTube, or Google Plus here. I'm just going to check the YouTube since I have it up. We got Jessica since here. What is Uber? Never heard of it. Well, that's I guess you can just anybody with a car can just register and on the website and offer rides for people basically.
Yeah, and I think you switch it on and off, don't you? Like I'm available like this afternoon. I turn it on, and then it checks to see who's around where the person's looking for a ride.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you can build up your reputation too, can't you? Like Yelp or something. This guy's a good driver. This guy's a bad driver. And
I think it works both ways. It's the drivers can rate the passengers. So
yeah.
I was listening to a podcast on NPR. They were saying that the person almost didn't get a ride because her rating was low. but you're not told that the customers are being rated by the driver, so they can opt not to pick you up. Which I don't know. We'll see if Uber works out or not. I don't know. I don't think it will work out in Halifax. I don't think it's the right spot for that. Roger, GC Storm on YouTube says here, good evening, everyone. In the backyard again, cooking over the campfire, chicken, pork, pepperoni, drinking a home brew from the recently installed taps on the kegerator. And I approve of that. He showed us a picture of his taps a couple weeks ago there. I believe it was a 3-tap system. So, well done. Well done, Roger. Well done. All right, I'm just going to flip over to the comments on avoidingchores.com here. We've got Bluefin over in Newfoundland commenting here. So it says, hey, gang, on this lovely evening, I will be savoring the last bottle of Quiddy Viddy Winter Ale I have left. It is too hot in the house tonight, so I'll be joining you whenever my slightly cooler backyard. And he also asks, how was the trip in Maine? And we can get into that into the next segment here now that Todd's here. He also comments here, you guys got pretty hit hard with Arthur here in Newfoundland. It was a little breezy. That was about it. Keith, who can't join us tonight, posted a good video about 72-hour preparedness, and I bet more people wish they had more of those ready for the storm. And he also had a question about Uber. So that's it with the Uber. And Todd, let's talk about our trip in Maine.
Okay. Hot.
Hot. I think that was the summary. It was just too damn hot.
Yeah, the heat wave started basically the day we left Halifax, so and there's just no relief up there. It's just hot, no breeze.
And it was like, I think in the cabin it was like 25 or 26 degrees at like 10 o'clock at night with no breeze whatsoever. So it was pretty tough going. You just sat on front of the, well, here we go. Do we have the picture on top?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So, but at the same time, we had a very nice view.
Yeah, look at the lake. The lake stayed like that for 4 days, like just not a ripple.
And one of the things with being there is that there was no power, no cell phone, so had to use my solar panel to charge up the InReach, and that was really funny. So I talk a lot about the DeLorme InReach, the satellite communicator. So if I'm out of cell phone range, I use that to send my texts and my tweets and my emails. Well, Todd, it only works if the recipient actually has cell phone reception on her end.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're sending it to somebody in the third world, PEI.
PEI. Oh, you know what the excuse was? Because the trees foliated. Whatever cell phone reception we used to have in that part of PEI in the fall and winter is now cut off.
So you can only use your cell phone like 6 months a year up there?
Well, I guess so, and try to fight the mosquitoes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Who'd live in a place like that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But no, we had a pretty good time overall. We tried to make the best of it. We did one little hike, little Niagara Falls there.
We did a couple. Like you and I went around the lake, and then we also hiked down to Big Niagara.
Yeah.
So we did about 3 miles of the Appalachian Trail. So.
Well, actually, no. I was thinking about it. I think I've done over closer to 15 kilometers of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh wow!
Well, from the little segments that we've been doing there, and the segment that I did when I actually summited Katahdin a number of years ago. So.
Oh, did you do the Hunt Trail or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You did a lot of it then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've done a little bit in New Hampshire, about 50 feet on top of Mount Washington. That's about it.
But as you can see, folks, there from the pictures, we have probably one of the nicest lakes. That,
it's beautiful there.
Yeah, and that was like two or three nights of this, just crystal clear. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Problem was is just like you bring a load of wood back to the cabin and you're just like you almost like somebody dump water on you. You're so wet from sweating and
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, that's my excuse. We weren't acclimatized to the heat, right, for the first big heat wave, because temperature got down to 23, and I was like getting little goosebumps. I felt it was cold once we got back to Halifax. But
yeah, it was pretty warm.
all right. Okay, so let's. Well, that was our trip of Maine, Mike. So maybe we'll look into September doing that next year. June, I think we'll cross that off. Too hot for us.
Yeah, I think we just didn't time it right.
Yeah, that's fine.
C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
Oh yeah, I still had a good time though.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic, and this came up in the news here. The Cumberland Regional Development Authority, the CRDA, processed a number of fake invoices to maintain government funding to the tune of $800,000. A culture of deceit at both the Economic Rural Development Department here in the province and the regional authorities here. And Cumberland and Cobequid, is it Cobequid? Anyway, that section of the province, Amherst to Truro there, they've been coming up in the news a little bit here about, they've essentially cooked the books. They were submitting invoices or March Madness, submitting stuff so that they can maintain, so if they spent, so the idea was if you showed invoices of a certain amount, the province would, continue giving you the funding and stuff. So it was just a big mess, and you wonder why we're not doing well. You wonder why places like Cape Shenectady Provincial Park, which had kind of a shared community model, that got transferred. The province took that over now because it was stuff with funding too and how they were using the money. So, Carrie, what do we do about these regional groups? Do we just cut the funds and get some new people in, new blood? You think new blood will?
That's bad management, and it's typically from the top down. It actually comes. Somebody has to make a decision to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We need to justify how we're going to get some new money, and then actually, this is the way it is. Somebody says, let's do it, and do it. So take that person out of their job of responsibility and get someone new in there. Not any different than what happened. What they call it, Devco, or the new word for it was.
Well, I don't have the group the group at your place there, ECBC. That's another.
Where the person who was put in the leadership there was put in by patronage, and he was got caught doing something he shouldn't have done. So,
yeah. Well, until we get rid of this whole theory of marginalization, just giving enough money for people to get 20-week stamps or 10-week stamps so they can get on EI, we got to get away from that. We got to get into funding small businesses that are actually going to try to make a difference. Besides, these, we always try to put our money into these big projects, and everybody, big project, but it's the little guy with 2, 3, 4 employees that's making the difference in this province. Yeah. It's not these guys that are flash in the pan, and whoever falsified records, I hope that they're being either fired or investigated. If it was outright fraud, they didn't steal the money, did they? I didn't actually have a chance to read the article.
No, it didn't sound like they were stealing it.
They just made up a receipt they looked. So
yeah, they looked like they were busy.
So it is fraud. So they need to be never work again and that kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if they need to go to jail for something like that. But they definitely need to be held accountable.
Exactly, and that goes from end to even to the people giving the checks here at the province. ERDT, the department there, they're going to get raked through the coals here with just permutating this culture here, just handing out money willy nilly to the old boys club here. So. I just got a tweet a few minutes ago, which I didn't read here, but from Josh, brewmaster at North Brewing here. Good reminder of the state of our infrastructure and what's to come as the weather gets worse. Storm season starting in July. Talk about Arthur. We're going to get a few more? Maybe. Todd,
Yeah,
you're a weather person.
yeah. Well, I'm not really, but I'm old. I'm old, so I watch the Weather Channel. But it was kind of sad. Like I was kind of excited about all the hops growers in the region now. But Jeremy Big Spruce, who was not really in the storm per se, he lost 30% of his crop.
Wow.
And Southern Farms, I don't know how much they lost. They're a huge hop farm up here in New Brunswick, up Fredericton way.
Yeah.
They lost a substantial portion of their crops. So it's really, really downheartening to see that happening to these guys that are kind of going out and, they're part-time farmers, but trying to, bring the farm back to this area of the country.
Yeah.
And something like this happens, like in Arthur, which is, how often we had a tropical storm, and it happens every few years, but
Exactly.
But I feel really bad for Jeremy and everybody that kind of got hit by that. It's too late to start over. This year's gone for that part of their crop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's too bad. It's too bad about that. We'll do one more quick story, then we can get into the Maritime Beer Report, Todd, if you're up for that.
Sure.
All right. The next topic here is, hey, a discount for the locals. Nova Scotia residents who can prove they live in the province can get an extra 10% off the Nova Ferry if you need to go down to Portland. Isn't that awesome?
Well, I'm all lightheaded. Well, at least it's something.
Well, you know what? The fact that there was, I don't know, a couple weeks of news releases or news reports of how they're taking us to the cleaners, getting almost maximizing 7 years of planned funding in the first year. In Maine, the state of Maine, not holding up their end of the bargain, not giving the money, getting all the service contracts.
Sad. Well, not unexpected. Yeah. So.
No, not unexpected.
So yeah. So I can get $70 back of my $18 million investment. That's pretty good. It's pretty good return. Better than my RSP.
Well, you know what? For a family of four, it's still gonna round trip is like $700. So.
Yeah, $70.
Yeah.
$70. That'll almost pay your hotel down there one night.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie, 10% off. Are you gonna take the ferry?
So I could get my $70 and go by road the other way.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into Todd's Maritime Beer Report.
All right.
What we got?
All right. Well, first here, there's a new brewery in Riverview, New Brunswick. It's probably maybe about a kilometer as the crow flies from where I'm sitting. He hopes to brew some unique beers, including mead. He's in the armed forces. He did a couple tours in Afghanistan, and when he was on leave in Europe, he kind of fell in love with the mead and the beer over there, and he can't get it here, so he started brewing his own. So he's doing crowdfunding on Indiegogo, trying to raise $18,000 for commercial equipment. So so give him a check. He's on Facebook, AWOL, like anybody in the armed forces knows what that is. Brewery. So the Brasseur de Petit Saut. Are you getting a lot of noise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell your mom to go to the.
Hey. Shh. The Brasseur de Petit Saut launched their Temps Blanche this week, so it's available. I see they actually have it in 6-packs as well.
Yes.
It's at the Deck Resto Bar at 127, Station 127. You probably know where that is, Jim.
A little bit.
Frank's Bar and Grill, and at the Fraser Evanston Golf Club.
Hey, Frank's, that's the hot spot.
Yeah. Hammond River Brewing's making a California Steam Ale, which we've been talking a lot about. We'll get to that in a minute. He's going to call it Gammy. It's a tribute to the recent passing of the brewmaster's father. He all the kids called him Gammy, so he's going to make the beer called Gammy. He says it's going to be an easy drinking beer, bready and toasty notes, along with some fruitiness. And it'll be brewed with the San Francisco lager yeast, but fermented a little closer to ale temperatures, so it's going to make it kind of a unique beer.
Nice.
Following on the heels of Propeller, Garrison raised their growler fills this week. You probably ran into that today, Jim?
No, I didn't buy any growlers. I bought bottles there, but yeah. What's up with the price increase, yo?
Well, everything's going up, especially the yeast. So core brands, that's the Tall Ship, Irish Red, Nut Brown, etc., are going to be 10. Growlito will be 6. And then their premium beers, which is like the Imperial IPAs, will be 11. And $7 for the Growlito.
Okay.
And they're still going to have their all-day happy hour on Thursdays. So get you $1 off. So, as I was talking about the California Common, or the Steam Ale, I went to the North Brewing Pairing last night. It was a really nice event. Some really, really good food, good beer, and they gave an early showing of their California Common, but they're going to call it Halifax Common. It's going to be the name. It's a little light for what they normally brew. It's 5% ABV. It's a dark straw color. It's a little bit cloudy. Had some nice fruitiness and biscuit flavors, and it was slightly dry on the finish, so it's quite a nice beer.
I understand that that's going to go on sale tomorrow at North.
That's right. And another news from North is they now have 650 ml bombers. So it's going to allow them to go into the private stores for sale, and I think they're also going to sell it at the brewery and in the farmers market. So that's a bit of a game changer.
Well, that will be interesting.
Yeah, so they've got a 3-bottle system, I think, that can do the very labor-intensive. All the small breweries seem to have very labor-intensive bottling operations. So
they're probably just going to walk it across the street from the NSLC from their brewery, and that's where you're going to find it.
Yeah, so I don't know if I count on seeing it at the NSLC anytime soon, because they won't have the kind of numbers they need to get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But, just being in the private stores is going to be nice, because a lot of people want to, come to visit and they want to take it with them home, and they can't right now, really.
Yeah.
With the system, so it's good news for North. Onward and upward.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff for them, and yes.
And Andrew, the craft brew guy, lied to me.
Did he?
He said there wasn't going to be any more casks night at Propeller. Well, guess what? Propeller's having a proper cask night on August 15th. It's a special Sausage Fest edition.
August 15th, I'm busy.
I don't even know what day that is. Is that a Thursday?
I don't know, but I know I'm busy.
Oh, okay. Local chef Ludo Ivino from Agricola Street Brasserie will prepare a special sausage feast worthy of memory. There's going to be a special one-off cask, as well as the fine roster of Propeller brews. There's only 45 tickets, and I don't know how much they are. I think they're on Eventbrite. So if you really want to check out, it's at the Local Connections Halifax site, and grab one before they're gone. Oh, and you get a free glass too. So.
Yum yum.
I missed this somehow. Sea Level Brewing, I was checking my notes today, and I see that they have a blueberry pale ale.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yeah, it's been on tap for a bit, but now it's in cans. So, made with blueberry juice from the Annapolis Valley. So, pretty cool combination. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'll try to get some more information, but
yeah, try to get my hands on that too, because I like the blueberry.
Yeah, me too. Two last items here, I guess. Rock Bottom Brew Pub, they're all set for their July dinner on the 29th. Their menu's out. Looks pretty decent. But there's two new beers. I asked them for a comment, but I didn't get one. A Belgian IPA and a Big Water Brown are listed on the menu, so they must be new beers coming this month from Nash. So, yeah, looks delicious as always. I had a great time when I went. I might go again this time. The menu looks very good.
Mm.
And the last item, tomorrow is the Brewers Bash in Fredericton. And they still need a few more volunteers, or they were looking for them today. I guess they kind of underestimated what they needed. Once they got the tents up and the tables, they kind of said, whoa, I don't think we have enough people. So if you want to do 4 hours of work, you get to go into the grounds, and you also get to go to the volunteer party at a later date with lots of beer, they say. So.
And you will be there tomorrow.
I will be there tomorrow doing my Canadian duty of trying to drink my way across the country.
All right.
They have breweries from all 10 provinces and one territory. So I'll be visiting our friend Bluefin's Quiddy Vitty, of course.
Yes.
And continuing on from there, I'm going to try to get from Newfoundland, Labrador, all the way to BC.
Now, is Yukon supposed to be there too? Or?
Yeah, Yukon is going to be there. Yukon Brewing. It's the only one from the It might be the only one in the territories, actually.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of watching the progress. If you follow their Twitter, Picaroons had their truck going across the country picking all the beer up. So it's kind of neat. You know, they're in Saskatchewan, and then they're in Manitoba, and zipping along through Ontario and up into Quebec. So. That'd be a rough job, wouldn't it, Jim? Driving brewery to brewery, picking up stuff.
Oh God, that would suck.
Across the country. Oh, those poor guys.
Terrible.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, that's all I have for this week.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Todd. You can also check out Todd's Maritime Beer Report again on his YouTube channel, Todd the Beer Dude, or Maritime Beer Report. You can check that out. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. We're going to keep it beer-related here. Bad Apple had their event at Stillwell, and I'll just flip over to the slideshow. Slideshow. I only had 3 pictures. That was one hell of an event, let me tell you. Holy moly. Let me show you this event here. So, Bad Apple Brewing started from the very beginning, getting 15 beers ready. Every tap and 3 casks were taken over. Todd, this was an amazing event. Like, if you weren't a Bad Apple fan, this event made you a fan.
It sure did. Like, every time I meet Jeff, he impresses me more and more. Like, just him, we had 3 different beers on the table. He could say, just by the color, just by looking at them.
Yep.
They're basically, the beers are his babies. And, and just the breadth of knowledge he has in explaining his process and how he thought about it and how he went through it. And was, I love that kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly. And, you're talking about a real... this is somebody who cares about each of the beers that he brews, wants to know what you think about this beer. And because I had some criticisms on one beer, which was the East Coast beer, had seaweed and sea salt and a whole bunch of other East Coast ingredients. For me, say, hey, what's up with the seaweed? I don't taste any, but yet it's a very drinkable beer. And that's the thing with a lot of this stuff. Compared to a Garrison event at Stillwell we went a couple of weeks ago where we went crazy with flavors and spices, Bad Apple really focused on the styles and just really focused on doing that style the best.
Yeah, he really cares about the quality. So it was neat to try the different. Some of them were very new to me, like the sour.
Yeah.
I never tried it before, so really I don't have any frame of reference. I enjoyed it, but he had a couple of double IPAs. He had the Mosaic and the Hopscotch. thoroughly enjoyed both of them. Of course, that one there, the Russian Imperial Stout, was
Barrel aged.
barrel aged, was to die for.
Oh, that was absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah.
you know what he was saying is that, or someone was saying that the Russian pure, the Black and Tackle, which is very good on its own, is really meant to be barrel aged, and I forget who said that. But you know what? I tend to agree with that. That is really meant to be barrel aged, and it's just very drinkable. It's not hitting you on the side of the head with flavors or hops.
Hmm.
It's just a very nice drinkable beer. So,
Yeah.
and all of them were.
Yes.
All of
Yes.
them were. So.
Yes. All of them could be production beers if he had the means to do it.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Like some of them, like you say, the East Coast beer. I don't know a lot. There's not a lot of brown ale kind of fans, so it makes you wonder. Maybe it might not sell here, but all of them were good. I don't think I tried the cider.
I didn't try this. I stayed on the right end of the tap you see on the wall there, so I stayed.
We had 3 hours to get through them. It was a little different this time. It was like in at 12, out at 3. And
but it was enough time because
I couldn't do much more because they were pretty. There were some pretty big beers on there.
Exactly.
You got to wear your big boy pants to get there. Yeah.
Exactly, and we did, and we had our Depends on, so for any mistakes. All right. So anyway, Bad Apple Brewhouse. Well done, Jeff, and Stillwell, the Stillwell Beer Bar in Halifax, folks. This is where stuff happens. This is where you get to see all of our buddies putting up their beer. Josh over at North, Jeremy at Big Spruce. You'll find their kegs there, and with their beer. So definitely stop by there and give that a try. Moving on to the next topic. I just gave a quick glance to the comments there. I didn't see any new comments there, but we'll do a couple of stories here before we move on to the next one here. Halifax, the city of Halifax opened up a tender for free Wi-Fi zones around the city, following the lead on a number of cities, including Fredericton, where Todd will be tomorrow at the Brewers Bash. I think this is a great idea. However, there's an industry expert in the city that says that Wi-Fi was yesterday's technology and should be looking at new technology. And I'd like to ask this person, what is he talking? I assume it's here. What is he talking about? What is this magical technology that nobody's using?
Is it wizardry?
Must be, because when I look at my smartphone or my tablet, it says Wi-Fi, not yesterday's technology, news technology. So I don't know what he's talking about. So.
Does it say super Wi-Fi? I don't know.
I don't know, WiMAX or whatever it's called. It's like, doesn't matter. It's Wi-Fi, right?
Something Dick Tracy would use, or what?
Yeah. Everybody's rushing to Google right now to see who Dick Tracy is.
Yeah.
You just aged yourself there. I've said for years. I don't like to say I'm critical of Halifax, but I like when they say stuff. There's nothing behind it. For years they've been saying Halifax smart city, but there was nothing behind it. There was no, cities that I go to, travel to, have free transit. They have Wi-Fi. They have all these things.
Yeah.
Halifax is good at saying the words, but they're not good at putting it into action. So I'm really glad to see that they're actually moving forward with something.
Yeah.
I think is a real good thing. I think it's a really good thing.
It's long overdue, and we're looking at very popular spots in Halifax. So we're talking about the waterfront. We're talking about transit routes. We're talking about Silldale Hill. We're talking about all the places where you will probably end up in Halifax. And you know what, Todd? You're going to be in Fredericton. You're probably going to be using the Freddie Wi-Fi zone, the free Wi-Fi in Fredericton. That's been online since 1999.
I was going to say it had to be at least 10 years. That's 15 years.
15 years, and yesterday's technology seems to be working just fine,
Yeah.
And that was when they put that up online when they were trying to bring in, they were starting to build the Knowledge Park up by the Regent Shopping Mall and got CGI in to be the first tenant, and they built a few companies, Radiant 6 and a few others, companies there. So, and that's ironically where the best Wi-Fi is in the city. But you know what? It's long overdue. You go to see the Halifax Farmers Market when a cruise ship is in town, and what do you see? Everybody is in the farmers market with their tablet, looking up their Wi-Fi. So
Yeah, that's a cruise thing. Everybody, when they get to port, they want to catch up because everything's so expensive on a cruise ship
yeah,
for as far as Wi-Fi. So whenever you hit a port, everybody immediately goes to where there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
exactly.
done
No,
that many times.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Carrie, like you were in Fredericton a little while ago. Did you try to get on to the Freddie Wi-Fi or on your cruise? Like,
Um, no, we didn't. We didn't need to get on Wi-Fi because we were running around and I had my cell phone with me, so it's not a big deal. But um, for students and everything else, if you rent a house in the right spot, you can get it.
oh yeah,
Um,
exactly.
um, as far as going on the cruise and everything else, yeah, it's just that you get that spot where you need it, and people need to be connected with everybody else.
Yeah,
And,
and yeah, it just shows how we're dependent on the internet now. We're slowly getting towards, you know, like, we talk about the house of the future. We talk about having this screen on your wall that controls your entire house, but we already have the screen. It's the size of your phone, and it does, all the stuff that you're supposed to do. And when you go somewhere new, like Todd, we went to Maine and we didn't want to pay roaming fees. Where did we go? Free Wi-Fi, which was McDonald's in the middle of nowhere, in Millinocket.
Yeah, where people have no teeth, let alone a
Oh,
smartphone.
but yet there was free Wi-Fi there, so why can't Halifax have free Wi-Fi? So anyway, so yeah, it's good to see. So hopefully something will come out from that. I think the launch date is sometime next year, 2015. I think I saw the tender was. You can go to the Nova Scotia Public Tenders website. You can read the spec and all that stuff. So next topic is Halifax has a brand new news site. Another website that you can get the local news. Tim Bousquet, the news editor at The Coast, left the job a couple of months ago, and we knew he was up to something. He has a paywall news website, so he's taking the skills and keeping it to Dartmouth. And for I believe it's depending who you are, it's $5 or $10 a month, and you can get Tim Bousquet's and a few other freelancers' view of Halifax. It's called the Halifax Examiner, halifaxexaminer.ca. He has a few freebies. The morning file, which is posted every day, has kind of a quick roundup of the city, which is actually very nice. I've been liking it. He doesn't accept, well, I think now he's started to accept PayPal for subscriptions. I might subscribe for a couple of months here. I kind of like him, like stuff. Don't always agree with his stuff, but I do like his reporting, and he does have a few other freelancers there. Carrie, up in Cape Breton, are you interested in Halifax news websites, or do you just stick to the local CBC or Cape Breton Post up there for your news?
I not too interested in Halifax except what I hear on the evening news. But I've been like that all the time. I don't. If something interests me, I'll look it up and then I'll research it. But as far as local news, I don't subscribe to the Cape Breton Post. Most of the stuff I can hear from somebody around town about what's going on, and
Right.
the local radio station gives us a snippet of what's going on anyway. So, it says nothing outrageous happens here except for somebody trying to steal shingles out of our building supply parking lot this week, and get caught. That's the only thing that happens around here.
All right. Todd,
Come out within 6 hours is another thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you've been reading it. I haven't been following it. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I like his I like a lot of his stuff. I don't totally agree with everything.
Yeah.
But be interesting. I have to check out. I didn't realize there was any freebies on there, so I'll have to.
Yeah, he tweets out the morning file, which is like really early in the morning, but kind of gives a quick summary, and he gives plugs to other sites. So if there's something going on, and the Chronicle has the article, he'll link to that. So it's kind of a quick roundup in the city. He gives a local plug to a blog or somebody else that he kind of likes. So it's kind of nice. If you want to know quickly what's going on in the city that you might have missed, most likely you have missed. The morning file definitely has that.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds good.
Couple quick comments here on avoidingchores.com. We got Bluefin here saying here. He says here, I wish we could get a discount on our ferry to get to Canada, all the way from Newfoundland there. So I haven't looked up how much it costs actually to take the ferry from Newfoundland to Nova Scotia, or to Canada.
It's a lot. It would make the trip to Maine look paltry.
Really? That's too bad. He also says here, blueberry beer sounds interesting. Can't wait for the pumpkin beer to come out again. I will probably drain my pumpkin beer kegs this weekend. That beer was the best by far of my craft brew yet. And it definitely looked good, Mike, from the pictures. I am actually going to pick up some kits this weekend, some partial grain or partial extract kits. I have a black IPA and something else, and I'm going to dry hop. I have no idea what I have in the freezer for hops, but we'll do that. And he also says, thanks for the beer news, Todd. Always interesting. Lots of good stuff, he says. So, kudos to you, Todd. Keep it on top.
I'll say hi to Quiddy Viddy for him tomorrow.
Excellent.
Actually, I don't know if any people are coming. I think most of them just send beer.
Okay.
They don't actually send people.
Well, you'll be able to find out for sure. So, tomorrow. Is it a 2-day thing or just a 1-day thing, Todd?
It's a 1-day thing, and it's kind of different than all the other beer things. It's 12 hours long. It's 11 to 11, and you can kind of come and go as you please.
Oh, okay.
And you get, I think you get 8 sample tickets to start with your ticket, and then you can buy more sample tickets as you go through the day. And there's music, but it's a far cry from a lot of the kind of 2-hour blasts that we get for all the other ones. So it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast.
Exactly. Roger here on YouTube says here that he was just rereading his comments while the typos. You must be thinking I went to the taps too many times already. Not at all, Roger. Not at all. You have 3 taps. Use them wisely. And also we got Jessica who says here that she's looking forward to the free Wi-Fi. She can't wait to use it and actually get to use like other services such as Sangza, etc. while she's running downtown. And that opens up a whole range of things. We're talking about, some people are talking about pop-up ads for downtown Dartmouth and all that kind of nonsense. But really, you're talking about free Wi-Fi in an area that opens up, possibilities. You're talking about internet radio. To go on Jessica's line of thinking here, she's saying Sangza, but you could have when you sign up to the Wi-Fi, you can get your little. Do you want to listen to Halifax internet radio, and you can have totally different types of programming there, paid programming, podcasts, for example, such as the Friday Night Hangout, Best Of edition. I don't know. It could happen. Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. So there's a lot of possibilities there once you have that going on, right?
Yeah. I hope people get T Ford for it. The work downtown. Free
Mm.
Wi because I don't work downtown, so it's not fair.
Hey, here's something that's not fair, Todd.
Yeah.
The people in Long Lake, they are upset. The people who hike Long Lake Provincial Park, apparently they never figured out that being a provincial park, dogs had to be on leash, and just because the signs were torn down, people were running amok. And when DNR staff replaced the broken signs, everybody lost their collective minds and thought that they were losing an off-leash park. But here's the rub, folks. It was never off-leash to begin with.
No.
Everybody was
No.
breaking the rules.
I told people that. People looked at me like I had two heads.
Uh,
I wrote. I helped write the what am I trying to think of here, Jim? The
Policy, the framework, the
yeah the
guidelines, the
yeah
rules.
I can't think of the thing. The rules are set within the Crown Land Act. It's basically if a provincial park, dogs have to be on a leash. Period. There's no
All
if
right.
it's here, in the city here, they kind of said, okay, if you're in this park in this area, it can be off leash. They have that flexibility. There is no flexibility in the act.
Yeah.
Every park is on leash all the time. Period.
Yeah.
That's the law. That's you
Yeah. That.
can't, and it can't be circumvented by saying, okay, well, this group wants to write a policy. Anyways, I used to tell people in the park, I said, this is an on-leash park. Ah, wah, 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 wah. As their dog craps and they walk away. So it's
Yeah.
like I felt really bad. Like that park is so abused. So whenever it does become an actual provincial park, because right now it's what they call a reserve.
Yeah.
It's a provincial park designated, but it's not actually. They haven't. If I could think of the word I'm trying to think of.
Well, it
Uh,
hasn't been the facilities haven't been developed. The infrastructure
yeah.
hasn't been developed.
Well, we submitted the. Why I'm having a brain fart tonight. We submitted the management plan. Thank you, Thank you, Jim.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, we wrote the management plan about 6 years ago, and we gave it to the NDP government because we kind of wrote it at the end of the last, kind of like around the election time,
Yeah.
and we finished it and submitted it. And I believe you can find it on the website what we wrote, and in there is a whole plethora of trails and day use and everything that we wanted to do was submitted, but the cabinet has to accept that management plan and put it
Yeah.
into effect. And when that happens, then there's a pot of money that goes to that park. Like right now, that
Yep.
park has no money, no staff. But if there is a violation issue, if somebody's hunting in there, something, you call the 911 or the 800 number. They'll send an officer. They'll send officers to enforce, but there's no staff there on a daily, seasonal basis, cutting trees, maintaining trails, checking on stuff. So that's the problem. People have used that park for whatever they felt like for so long, off leash, camping,
Campings, marijuana
whatever.
grow ops, whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a pile of those in there that I've found, but
Oh yeah,
I
exactly.
love
But
that park. I used to spend every weekend in that park, hiking, kind of away from where the people go. Like people kind of go off where that parking lot is on St. Margaret's Bay Road,
yeah,
and that was another bone of contention. That's not supposed to be the entrance to the park, but the city put it there because of too many people parking on the sides of the road.
yeah, yeah.
So they threw that little parking lot in there without telling DNR, and the actual entrance is supposed
Yeah,
to be way on the other side of the park,
yeah.
kind of near where the Scar Road is.
Okay, so the problem here is that Nova Scotia parks have a lot of properties to maintain in the priority list. Like for example, last year Cape Split got all the love, and towards the end of the season, Second Lake got some love, and etc. So Long Lake is probably down the list, where things are at for priorities and stuff like that, because there's just the pot of money to build the
Yeah.
infrastructure is small, and there's 10 times the amount of properties that the money wants to go get. So
Yeah.
People, have to wait. So I just find it hilarious that everybody was just losing their collective minds. But the fact that it was always on leash, as soon as it was designated a provincial park or preserve or reserve, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really funny story with that. How it happened is Buchanan, I guess, when that land used to be Halifax Water Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and when it was kind of coming out, there was a whole issue that the city owed the province a whole bunch of money. And Buchanan, of course, is from Spryfield. I don't know if you remember that. You might be before you
No.
moved down here.
Yeah,
Anyway, he was
before.
our premier. He lived in Spryfield. He lived kind of out in the better section of Spryfield. But there was a swap. It's like, okay, you don't have to pay us any money, but you give us this land. They gave him the land, and he immediately designated it as provincial park, which was like, took everybody by surprise. Everybody was stunned. It's like, how can you do that? But, he wanted to protect it. He didn't want development. He wanted to kind of keep it as it was.
Yeah.
But usually when a park, it takes a long time, and, it kind of builds up to it, and the province builds a long time. Then there's a big announcement, hey, there's going to be a park, and there's money, and there's staff, and that never happened. So it's been kind of sitting in limbo since the 80s as this second biggest provincial park in the system.
Yeah.
With no money, no staff, that's why a group of us kind of got together and wrote the management plan for the provincial government to try to help it along, but it didn't really help. It's been 6 years now, and it's never been accepted.
No, it's kind of hard when, it's just there's so many other people lobbying for their park to get
Exactly.
infrastructure and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and that's Scar Road, I think, which you've probably walked on, Jim, the one that comes off the old Highway 316, I think.
Yeah.
There's like a big gate there.
Yeah.
There was one point where the province said, "Okay, we're going to make a. There's a cove. If you look on the lake, there's a big cove there. We're going to make a picnic park here." So they cut all the wood all the way into it, and then they kind of scraped all the topsoil off 2/3 of it. They put the so one section was like road ready, was ready to be, had like the big aggregate and everything. It was ready to be a road. The next third was kind of, the trees were cut and they took all the topsoil so you can kind of find it. The last third, they just cut the trees down so it's all grown back in. So as you walk along the road, it gets worse and worse till it goes to like nothing. It's kind of cool to see, see kind of if you're like me, kind of like to see how things regenerate.
Yeah, exactly.
So from different human interventions.
Yeah, because I think I parked there once actually when they that section there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to talk about parks.
Sorry, off topic. Yeah.
Off topic. We'll do a special parks edition of the Hangout here.
Yeah.
We were a little bit over time here. Just want to do a last round of comments from the viewers, and then we can hang it for another show here. Mike Bluefin says here, Todd, if you get a chance, try the British IPA from DVD.
I'll do that.
And ferry rates from Port aux Basques to North Sydney, one way for a car driver, and a reserved seat is $175.38. So that's one way. So a little over $300 for round trip for one person.
It's not too bad. Not as bad as I thought.
No, but still, man, it's
still expensive.
Still expensive. I don't see anything on the YouTube page here, and nothing on the Twitter page. So it looks like we're pretty much all done for comments here. Carrie, do you have anything to plug? No.
Big Spruce beer.
Big Spruce, excellent.
Welcome, my kid bought me the Grounder for beer, and I think she's a great woman. That's what I'm going to plug.
Awesome. Great beer from Jeremy at Big Spruce. Todd, you're not drinking anything? So, because of that. But you'll be drinking stuff tomorrow, though.
Yep. Watch for live tweeting through the day.
Are you going to use a hashtag tomorrow, or?
Oh, okay. I'll think of one. Let's something not too hard, like in a drunken thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or
I'll do Brewers Bash 2014, I'll do Brewers Bash 2014.
All right, yeah, and make sure that people follow you at Todd the Beer Dude
Yeah.
on Twitter, so people can follow you there.
Twitter,
And
Instagram, all this good stuff. Yep.
yeah, so it should be a fun time. And I'm just drinking the Garrison, well, finished drinking the Garrison Baltic Porter, 9% beer. So very good tonight. And with that, folks, we are pretty much done for this week. Summer schedule. We're going to take a 2-week break. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I'd like to thank everybody for joining the panel tonight. I'd like to thank Carrie joining us with the tablet, and Todd coming in from Moncton there. So make sure we'll tell his mom to be a little bit more quiet next time. She's a little like going a little
Yeah.
excited. She's a little excited
She's
tonight, Todd.
yeah. She's excited to have company.
Yeah.
I'll try to find another room.
Yeah. Try the basement or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi will go down there. I'll do that next time.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, panel. Thank you, viewers, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Goodbye.